Hi, it's Dr Ro and Col here. We have the camera set inside a window frame. I'll show you in just a moment. And we're talking about what's another element we want to get across to you. So apologies about the light that's coming through. I'll grab the camera in a moment. Col, you want to talk about roof and roof work. So let's talk about roof structures, etc.
So like any property, your biggest enemy will be water. So always look at the roof and the condition of the roof, whether it's a buy-to-let, a HMO, brand new, renovation, whatever it is, because on this particular project, for instance, there's a number of elements we need to take into consideration because we found that the roof needed works to it and actually some replacement of that.
I mean, we could have found that out before we got the contractor in, but there was a lot of hidden elements, weren't there, which until you rip back you didn't actually realise.
That's the key to stripping out, because once you strip everything back you expose everything, and once you expose everything then you know exactly what you're dealing with. So if you're looking at a roof and you've got a buy-to-let but there's some damp patches, you need to make sure that gets looked into early on, because water coming in will keep ruining what you've actually going to put in.
Actually, that's a good point. Do you remember, and you may not have been involved with it, there was a project I did, I think it was in Stoke-on-Trent, it was a HMO property, and actually you weren't involved with that. We got up to the roof, and it turned out that part of the roof had like a little balcony on it, but the balcony had no structural element, so literally there'd been no steel, no supports whatsoever, but we didn't discover that till we got up and stripped it all back. And I think the same thing happened on this property. I mean, if I grab the camera now, you can come and have a look. Just talk us through some of the things that we sort of uncovered on this particular project.
Okay, so if we come through here...
So, for example, we thought these were going to be a lot beefier, didn't we?
We've taken all of the plasterboard out
I'll
to
just
see
show
the
you
structure. And this particular roof is covered in timber shingles, which is very lightweight. And you can see that the timber framing creating these trusses, which are actually made on site, are very thin. That means our proposed finish that we wanted on the roof, which is a concrete tile, this wouldn't be able to support it. So that means we now need to get new trusses made to support this roof.
Okay, timber shingles. They may not know what they are. Can we bust through the door? Yeah. This is all going. I mean, we're doing. Remember, all these videos we're doing are completely ad hoc. We have a structure in our mind to get the content and the value over to you. But I deliberately wanted to do this with Colin, so we're just pulling it as we're going round, so you can see it. What's a timber? I'm going to pull the camera up here. Just explain what a timber.
So a timber shingle is how they used to clad roofs many years ago. They still do it in some parts, but in England,
this is wood.
It's not so common.
It's cedar, isn't it?
It's all timber tiles essentially, and they're very, very thin, very, very lightweight. So they're fixed, and as you can see, the edges. This is the condition after many years of rain and weathering. And you can, of course, protect timber from weathering.
To be fair, they're actually in quite good condition.
It's lasted well. It's done exactly what it needed to do, but it's got a lifespan like any roof.
This is from the 60s, this was done.
And it does need replacing. After seeing what we've got on the new proposed roof, what we're putting on, we have to allow for the new weight, we have to allow for the new structure, and we do need to take away what is there already.
Right, so let's go back in a minute, just because you've been out this morning meeting the gentleman that's going to be hopefully fitting a new set of trusses. Explain why these just aren't man enough.
So you won't really gauge the sizes of how it is on site, but there's a big gap between each timber. That's called the centre line, and there's approximately a 600mm centre to centre for the timber purlins at the top. Now they're only 80mm thick and they're 600 between one another, so that's far too thin. It's not going to support the new tile what we want, so we need to beef them up. So they're going to be turned into a 150 deep timber at 450 centres to be able to take the weight of the new roof.
What are we doing with the angle of the roof as well?
The angle of this roof is around 22 degrees, so we're going to raise the pitch from 22 to 25. That gives us more options on the roof finish to allow the tile that we want.
Yeah, because otherwise if it's too shallow, there's only certain types of tile you can put on here.
That's right.
So, yeah, but I'm watching this Colin and Ro, and I'm just doing a basic buy-to-let or a HMO. What's the relevance of the roof question now?
So really it's the condition. It's just making sure that the condition's fine. If you're not changing the roof, you don't plan to change the roof, then that's great, but you do want to make sure that it's watertight and there's no damage up there, because a small amount of water can go a long way.
So flashings around chimneys, that sort of thing?
Timber purlins, everything like that. You just need to get up there and check.
Because remember, if you're putting your tenants in place and you're thinking, I'll just ignore the roof, I'll make that whole thing look pretty inside, All you need is a situation where there's a leak, water's getting through, maybe through the flashings around a chimney edge or whatever it is, and it comes down inside the building. Now you're going to get these dump. In fact, do you remember we bought a property in, you helped out on a project where we bought a property in, I think it was in London, and it was a 3-bedroom flat, and we had a slight challenge with damp coming in. Do you remember?
Yes, that's right.
Right at the top. And we managed to patch it up, and we thought it would be sufficient. But actually, when the tenants were in, we had to deal with that for about another 6 months.
Yes, that's right.
So
it can end up going a long way, and it can last a long time as well.
This is a £1 million project as well. So you got to think about, do you really want to just skim over something on a high value property? Even the challenge you've got in the United Kingdom is damp more than anything, isn't it?
Yeah, the weather.
And it penetrates from all places.
Yeah,
it comes in from the top, it comes in from the sides, it comes in from the bottom.
And when you're checking the roof, it's not just the roof, it's the gutters, it's the
Right,
fascia
yeah,
boards,
yeah,
all of
yeah,
them
yeah,
things,
yeah, yeah.
because they all cause a water ingress problem if they're not clear, clean and watertight.
Correct. Yeah. So better to get it done early on the project than have to deal with it retrospectively as an investor now as an ongoing cost. And actually bringing somebody in to do roof works afterwards is a lot more hassle.
It is if you've
and a
done
lot
all
more
your finishing inside.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, that's
then
true.
they have to come in and they might have to do work internally as well as externally.
Right. So an explanation of that might be here, if this is a finished internals now and there's something has to be done up there, they'd have to break this all off
Potentially, yeah.
to get back up there as well.
And if it gets warm water damage, that needs to be replaced anyway.
Yeah, okay. Anything else on roofs? Anything on the roof, is it a planning permission, building inspector type conversation?
So it can and it cannot be. If you're doing a simple replacement of the roof tiles and the finish, then no. But if you are putting in roof lights and roof windows, then yes.
Yeah.
And in this case, because we're altering the structure, then yes, we will do.
Okay, so the main message here is don't overlook and don't underestimate the roof and what it could cost you, but also the ongoing hassle it could cost you if you're an investor holding onto the property as well.
Yep.
Great, it's Dr Ro signing out. Keep an eye out with me and Col on our next element of renovations.